Okay, so this is a follow-up from our last part one of the Tower 1. We finished it, so this is what we ended up with. Kale, spinach. We have 2 lines of spinach, Swiss chard, cress, arugula, romaine, and parsley. And then I decided I am going to do a second tower that's going to be more of the cool weather fruiting, because I do have some grow lights that will work for the fruiting, red and blue lights. And so this is an experiment. I always like to have an experiment with my tower gardens. It's fun to see what will grow, what will work. And my towers are going to be in the garage this year, which is the first time I've ever had in the garage, so it'll be cooler than when it was in our sunroom. And so I have to keep in mind the temperature in the garage as well as what I'm planting. So that's why I'm planting cool weather vegetables. So I decided I'm gonna do some cauliflower, which I have a hard time growing outside because of the bugs. Bugs really like my cauliflower, and I don't like to use pesticides, and so I give up. I get frustrated with growing cauliflower. But I've got these great seeds from Patriot Seed, or My Patriot Supply. They have great seeds, and so I'm going to try to grow some cauliflower in the tower. So I'm going to start some seeds on those. I'm going to do 1 row. And so there's 4 holes in each row, and then these separate out into, they break apart, and so each one of these plants into the hole of the tower. So, and I'll show you that when we actually get to transplanting in a couple of weeks. These will take a little bit longer. Whoops, these will take a little bit longer because the greens will be up in a week, but the cauliflower, cucumbers, broccoli, those are the cold weather vegetables I'm going to grow. And then I'm going to put some basil and cilantro starts in as well. And I don't know which tower they'll end up on. I'll probably end up putting some greens on someplace, and so that's the cauliflower. I'm going to do 2 different kinds of broccoli just because I have 2 different kinds of seeds. Again, one of them is a Patriot Seed. It says Calabrese. This one is Decicio. So I'm going to see which one. I've grown them both in the past, and I have really good luck with broccoli, unlike cauliflower. Cruciferous vegetables are super, super good for your brain. They're just a really good veggie to have. And broccoli has become a family favorite in our house. When people don't want any vegetables, they want broccoli. So that's why I'm going to plant.
I love me some cooked broccoli.
Yeah, broccoli's awesome. It's awesome in salads. It's awesome as a side by itself. It's awesome. And I'm going to put what kind this is, so next time I know. Broccoli, this one is the Decicio, Diciccio, Decicio. So we'll see which one grows best, right? Which one sprouts first, which one produces the most broccoli. We don't really have to worry too much about, we don't have to worry at all about weeds in the tower, which is awesome. And pests are really the only pests that I've had on my towers that have caused a lot of problems are aphids. And so that's why I'm doing all of them from seed. So this is the Calabrese. So instead of bringing, I have a greens tower out front that's still growing, and I'll leave that greens tower up for a while. Until it just gets too cold. All the rest of them I'm taking down today, cleaning up and putting, like I said, in the garage. I'll store 2 of them, and I'll set 2 of them up, 1 for greens and 1 for these. I'm not very specific. I just kind of toss, 4 or 5 in each one, because, seeds don't germinate 100%, and so I could always thin them just like you would do in the dirt. towers are just so low maintenance compared to a dirt garden. I've become a really lazy gardener, and my dirt garden shows it because I've gotten so used to my towers being so low maintenance.
If you're wondering what that shadow is, that's Dad, not some creeper. Just so you know.
Oh.
I just realized that was in the camera.
I didn't even know Dad was in here.
That's funny.
He's our security guard that we have in the background, always. Okay, so here's the calabrese. It's going in now. And then, I was gonna do, sure, let's put some cucumbers in. Oh, the other thing, now the cucumber seeds, you can really see what's going on.
They actually look like cucumber seeds and cucumbers.
Oh, well, they all look like the seeds in the plant. It's just broccoli. We don't let it go to seed very often, so I'm gonna put 3 seeds, and with these you can kind of move them around. I don't know if you can get in there close, Jen, to see kind of how they up on top with the cucumber, because they kind of. So I just push them down in there so that
I think you skipped this. Oh wait, that's
where I'm at. I'm not there yet. I'm on this one right now. So if you want to get in from the top on those 4, you can really see the seeds in there. It's hard to see the seeds in the little tiny ones, the cauliflower and broccoli. But
you can still see them.
Can you? Yeah, you can. So I'm just gonna put them around the edge, and then I'm gonna do. I love me some cilantro. I love some basil. I love some parsley. In the summer towers, I grow a lot of thyme and oregano. This year I did tarragon, which was, oh my gosh, I love it. It's my new favorite spice. Oh, whoops, I forgot to put my label on that. I better before I forget, huh? The cucumbers. And that's the cilantro. I have a tendency to let my cilantro, I have a hard time growing cilantro. There's what the seeds look like. So if
they kind of look like, what are those seeds?
They're actually called coriander seeds, and you can use them.
Spice.
These are really good on steak, so you can crush. You can crush them up. And so this year, I didn't get a lot of my fresh cilantro, so it turned into coriander seed. So this is a seed that's really yummy just to chew on, because it has a different flavor when it's a. Anyway, it's good. So I need to do cilantro, and what was my other one? Cucumber. Get those tags on, and then basil. And I kind of have the same thing going on with basil. I have 2 different kinds. I grow quite a bit of basil.
Yeah, we like to dry it.
Well,
sometimes.
I don't know that it's I like to dry it. It's just that you can only eat so much fresh, and I love pesto, but again,
I like pesto
basil
pesto pasta is so good.
Basil grows super good on the tower as well, so we tend to get a lot of it. So I'm trying to decide if which of my basil. This will give you an idea how much we like basil. I have 3 different kinds of, I have Italian basil, I have lemon basil, I have sweet basil.
Hey, get down, puppy. Sorry, that was our new dog.
So, won't grow any zucchini. Those are summer plants, and we are wanting fall. Oh, and then I also have opal basil. Oops. So I'm gonna do sweet basil, which is my favorite, and maybe some lemon, because lemon basil will be really good in the winter, because it has that fresh, it tastes like citrus, so it adds a little citrus to to whatever you're putting it in.
Just like poppy seeds.
They do look like poppy seeds, don't they?
Like a poppy seed basil muffin.
I
That one would
don't know what a basil seed tastes like. I wonder if it tastes like a...
Try it. Good?
It tastes like dirt. It doesn't taste like anything.
Oh!
It doesn't taste like anything. It has no flavor whatsoever.
Unlike the, was it cilantro seeds?
Yeah, exactly. The cilantro seeds are coriander and they have a lot of flavor. So remind me, Jenna, because I don't have my thing made. The first one is the sweet basil. The second one's the lemon basil. Okay. And so we will give these, obviously all of these are going to have a little bit longer germination time than this one. These guys should be up in the week, and these probably won't be up for a couple of weeks.
So the first row, this row right here, this one is sweet basil, then this one is lemon basil.
Thank you. Yeah, you can tell I'm so technical and perfectionist about the way I do this. Like I said, I'm a lazy gardener. These are just while they're in the grow trays here. Sweet was first. And so they're nothing fancy. If you put them outside in the garden, they'd be faded in a day, and they would be useless, and they would be eaten up by the weather. But they're not. They're inside. They're just to tag so that I can tell and know what's coming up, what's germinating, and then when I place them on the tower, where I want to place them. So one of the things I might do with this, I have enough here for both. Get down. I have enough here for both of my towers, but not everything will probably germinate and grow splendidly. It's kind of crazy because I usually have an 80 to 100%. Josh, would you mind doing something with her? No. And so I thought maybe bring her in through the garage. So anyway, I'm just watering, and then you can see in this tray how it soaks it up, and they're moist. So I don't know if you could tell the difference between the rock wool in here and the rock wool in here. This is still dry.
Here, there's wet and dry.
Rock wool is spun lava, and so it's a soilless medium that we use in the tower garden because obviously soil doesn't work with a pump because it clogs the pump, and so we have a soilless medium. It's the same medium they use in any hydroponic growing system. The tower garden is classified as aeroponic because it doesn't sit in the water. It just showers over the roots,
Kind of like what you're
and
doing right now.
and it times on and off. And so what I'm doing right now is the only time that they really sit in the water because they're not in the tower. So I'm hard time getting in that center there for these tags. So this is the only time I water it from the top. Just this first time to make sure that the rock wool is nice and wet, soaked through. And I fill it from the top and the bottom just to give it about 1/4 inch of water, make sure it's nice and soaked up, and then I'll just let it sit here on the counter, and it will magically produce plants. And then once the plants get to be about 1 inch or 2 tall, about as tall as these tags, then we'll actually transplant them, and I'll show you what that looks like when we get there. But this is what we're going to grow this winter on our tower. I may also decide to not use all of these depending on how they germinate and how they look. I might intersperse some strawberries in there. I might grab a dozen or so strawberries, or I might start a third tower. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll actually put them this way in the sun today while we're doing a lot of house cleaning and yard work, getting everything put to bed for winter. And that's how long it takes and how easy it is. The hardest part is choosing what to plant, and the rest of it's pretty simple.
Bye.
Enjoy your towers.